So Megan, if you want to just give me the sign when you want me to get into the, are we good? We are good, okay. Well, welcome everybody to the 13th annual Dunin-Deshpande final summer pitch. My name is Jim McClellan. I'm the co-founder and academic director of the Dunin-Deshpande Queen's Innovation Center and been very much involved from the start back in 2012. I'm also a prof in chemical engineering across the street and cross-pointed to the Dan School of Drama and Music and Mathematics and Statistics, and I teach also in the Masters of Management Innovation Entrepreneurship program in the Smith School of Business as well. We're really pleased to have you here, and before I go any further, what I'd like to do is begin and acknowledge that Queens is situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory. We're grateful to be able to live and learn and play on these lands, and this territory is included in the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy and the Confederacy of the Ojibwe and allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. The Kingston area Indigenous community continues to reflect the area's Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee roots, and there's also a significant Métis community as well as First Peoples from other nations across Turtle Island present here today. We're live streamed, and we would very much like to thank the City of Kingston for sponsoring the live streaming for this event. So anybody that's watching this online, we're very glad that you can join us, and certainly hope that you find it interesting and fun, and maybe in the future you get planned to actually come here in person and join in. You certainly would be welcome. Congratulations, first of all, to all of the QIC team founders this summer for all of their hard work. And thank you also to all the mentors, speakers, judges, and innovation fellows and global network mentors who have spent their time helping the various ventures that you're going to see pitched today and other ventures also associated with our programs. So this is the 13th year for the DDQIC summer program. And we're hard at work, as always, on several major initiatives that align with the strategic priorities of Queen's to enhance the depth and impact of the research underway, better prepare students for impact in their careers, create mutually beneficial partnerships with our local and global communities, and foster an equitable and inclusive community. The summer pitch competition is the culmination of several of these impactful ventures, initiatives, notably what we call QIC, so the Queen's Innovation Center Summer Initiative, which has helped and build the entrepreneurial mindset and aspiration of over 540 change makers over its 12-year period, and has helped start over 120 domestic ventures. Based on the longitudinal tracking, so we keep in touch with the ventures that are formed, we estimate that more than 1/3 of the participants that have gone through our program are still pursuing entrepreneurial careers, a testament to the program's effectiveness in developing the entrepreneurial mindset of participants and preparing them for impact in their careers. Dozens of faculty, alumni, and business strategists and entrepreneurial leaders are contributing to making this program a success, and again, we're very grateful for that. Since the early days of QIC, the program has been open to any student on campus, no matter what level of study or discipline, so all academic career stages, as well as to members of our neighboring post-secondary institutions, St. Lawrence College and Loyalist College in Belleville, and the Kingston Community Institutions and Kingston Community. We're very grateful for the support of donors and the faculties, including the Provost's office, and faculty of Engineering and Applied Science, and the Smith School of Business for helping to provide stipend support. So as part of the summer program, the participants receive a $10,000 cost of living stipend, and this is an equity preserving measure that ensures that the program remains accessible to all those who wish to pursue entrepreneurship. So it's a very important component. The competition is also open to regional ventures. So today you're going to see some of the teams from the summer program, and you're also going to see teams from the region who already went through a qualifying pitch in order to get into the final pitch competition. Our mandate is to support the innovation initiatives of residents of the broader region, so not just at Queen's, but in the region in which it lives, and ensure that entrepreneurs in the local community have access to the best supports that Queen's can offer. We also Dunin-Deshpande Jim Leach MasterCard Foundation Program, so African Initiative, which supports young African entrepreneurs, and it's grown significantly since last year's pitch competition. As a natural evolution of the growth, we are actually holding a separate pitch competition for the African ventures, taking place on August 22nd at 9 a.m. We will be having a pitch viewing party here in the event commons, is that correct? Yes, sorry, Megan's got her hand up, good. Yes, so right back here, 9 o'clock on Thursday next week, the pitch viewing party, because they will be virtual, they're coming over from all across Africa. And so taking place, we're grateful to the support of the MasterCard Foundation and our many partners for providing entrepreneurship education to youth across Africa. Today, more than 3,500. We're good? Yep, today more than 3,500 African youth have received Queen's Best-in-Class Entrepreneurship Curriculum and Micro-Credentials with contextually relevant coaching and mentorship by partners in Africa. And we look forward to highlighting amazing African startups that have had impact in their communities on the 22nd. To date, we have worked with young entrepreneurs from more than 350 universities across Canada, across 49 countries. Across Africa, and 49 countries across Africa. So it's really, been very impressive, the breadth of the reach, and the Jim Leach MasterCard Foundation program team, give a real shout out to them for all their hard work. Taylor has the cutoff sign when I'm getting on too long. She hasn't given it to me yet, but we're moving on. Okay, I would like to acknowledge some of our special guests. His Worship, Mayor Brian Patterson, who will be giving some opening remarks. Provost Matthew Evans, who will also be giving some opening remarks. Dean Fahim Qadir from School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Studies. And that actually leads me, without further ado, to actually invite Mayor Patterson. I'll just give a brief introduction while you're getting started. So Brian Patterson, His Worship, Brian Patterson was elected as the 96th Mayor of City of Kingston in 2014, re-elected in 2018, and then 2022 for a third term. He first ran for City Council in 2010 in Trillium District, and as a councillor, he used his background as an economist to push forward a progressive agenda centered on growth and quality of life initiatives. In his first term as mayor, he championed the construction of the third crossing. We're very glad you did, especially right now. And the revitalization of Breakwater Park, which is wonderfully close to Queen's University as well. And while also welcoming several new international businesses to the city. In his second term, he focused on fostering innovation and entrepreneurship through the Mayor's Innovation Challenge and the new economic development strategy, increasing the supply of housing in the city with the Mayor's Task Force on Housing, and ensuring the third crossing was built on time and on budget, all while managing the community impacts from the global pandemic. We've certainly very much enjoyed working very closely with Mayor Patterson and very much appreciate the drive and the initiative and the spark that he's ignited, both within the city itself and really working with your wonderful team in the city. I'll just finish off a few more points and then and then you can have a chance to use the mic. In his third term, he's focused on addressing housing affordability and reducing homelessness through creative community partnerships and other levels of government. He will prioritize new spaces to accommodate growth for new businesses and housing, and push for greater regional cooperation among neighboring municipalities to help increase transportation initiatives and foster economic development. Certainly on the innovation portfolio, we're trying to do that in our broader outreach as well. Mayor Patterson, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jim. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a pleasure to join you. This is my 10th annual pitch competition that I've been able to attend. It's my 10th year as mayor, which tells you this is one of the very few events that I have made sure that I've attended each and every year. And I want to tell you why. I actually vividly remember the first pitch competition that I attended here at the DDQIC. And I remember it was in a smaller classroom. It's amazing to see how this program has grown in 10 years, but I remember attending in a classroom and capturing the potential of what I was seeing, what a pitch competition like this could mean to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship obviously at Queens and beyond, but what it could mean for the Kingston region. Economic development that kind of pulled me into municipal politics. And so having that lens of economic development, seeing what innovation and entrepreneurship could mean for the city as a whole. And I want to tell you that this program has really been inspirational for a lot of the economic development work that we've done. I know that Donna Gillespie from Kingston Economic Development would certainly agree with me on that piece. And even how you've inspired our own work at the city. A few years ago, launching the Mayor's Innovation Challenge, our own version of a pitch competition, is really something that I think we have also felt can really help to spur that innovative entrepreneurial mindset in the city. So I think I first just want to say a big congratulations, Jim, the whole team here, for the work that you've done this year and over the years to be able to just create that leading edge platform for innovation and entrepreneurship. And certainly as a city, we look forward to following the progress of all of the pitches this year. Everyone's always got a home here in Kingston if you want to continue your work on your idea or your pitch, and to be able to see that local impact of what these ideas can bring. The last couple of years, I've also had a chance to actually pop in through the development of these pitches and actually interact with each of the teams and students and ask them questions and hear from them. And it's really been a rewarding experience for me. So I'm excited to see what we're going to be presented with today. I just want to say congratulations to all the teams, because I know the enormous amount of work that goes into putting an idea and a pitch like this together. Again, congratulations to everyone that's been involved in this, and we look forward to many more years of partnership. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor Patterson. Next, I'd like to invite Provost Matthew Evans to come up and say a few words. Provost Evans joined us last summer, and in fact, within a relatively short time of him arriving in Kingston, he came to the Dunin-Deshpande pitch competition last year, and we were very pleased that you took the time to come over. Just a few brief notes. Before coming to Queens, held several academic and senior administrator roles around the world, including in Scotland, in England, Hong Kong, and the UAE. He is a zoologist by background. He completed his Bachelor of Science in Zoology at the University of Bristol and his PhD at Cambridge. His research interests span ecology, evolutionary biology, conservation biology, behavioral ecology, and most recently, how to predict the impact of climate change on the natural world. And I'm hoping he's okay if we just keep using the word ecosystem when we talk about innovation and entrepreneurship. Provost Evans, please come up. That's your next position.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. That's always good. Thank you. The mayor was saying he has a 100% record of attending here for his time. I also have a 100% record. It's based on a smaller n, right? So this is my second year, second time here, so also 100%. Look, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. It's always good that this feels like it's a formal but not always entirely serious occasion, and that's actually good, right? I think that's good, because universities can be desperately serious and rather dull places on occasions. So says the person in the suit. So on behalf of Queens, thank everyone for coming. It's great. This, as has already been said, is the 13th iteration of this competition, and it remains, despite the mayor's best efforts, Kingston's largest pitch competition. So, look, as Jim's just said, I'm the provost of the university, and it's fantastic to be here, and I want to be here because I think that innovative projects and ideas need to percolate across the campus, and not only across our campus, but throughout the city and the wider region, right? So I think we'll all benefit from a higher level of innovation. I know that everyone who has been involved in these projects is driven to make change and to use their innovative ideas and entrepreneurial mindset to address many of the world's pressing problems. Why? I think it's worth thinking a little bit, at least I think it's worth thinking, so I'm going to say it. why is innovation important? We're in university, in the sense university is about innovation, right? It should be about innovation, it does new things, right? But really, a university is often not very good at innovation, okay? Because innovation is, I think, a particular type of thinking about new things. So universities do, or academics, faculty in universities do research, and to some extent that has to be innovative. It is not what I think of as innovation. Right? Innovation is how you take those ideas and apply them in a societal, economic, or cultural context. Right? So it's very important to understand that this is somewhat different from what universities kind of mainstream. And in the old days, when I was the age of the people who were doing the competition, universities didn't really think very much about that. It was something, there was the idea of the university being an ivory tower, and it would be sitting there and be isolated from everything else. But increasingly, I think universities have both wanted to, but also been required to justify their existence. And innovation is one way in which they justify their existence. Right? And I think that the way innovation works best, and this is why it's so nice that the mayor is actually here, because innovation isn't something that universities can do by themselves, right? There's a conduit, a pipeline, if you like, that would go from the very first innovative idea, the original thought that would probably take place in university, and somewhere at the other end of the pipeline is a company that is generating dollars and employing people. Right. A university can go a certain way down that pipeline, right? And this exercise is the way of us trying to go down that pipeline and help develop innovative ideas, get closer to the point where they're launched into the world as real products or services or whatever, right? But that has to be reached into by civic society. Right, and that's why it's so good that the mayor's here, representing civic society. And only by working together does all of that happen. And when it works together, it works really well, right? Imagine, you don't have to go far to see how places where this has worked really well. The obvious example is Silicon Valley, the congruence there around Palo Alto of Stanford University and some of the original kind of electronic companies thinking like Xerox and so, right? And the huge influence that now, the global influence that development started less than 100 years ago, just after the Second World War, all of that going on. Global influence of some of those companies now. You can go even closer than that, right? So the biotech area around Boston, that is almost all spin-out companies that have originated in Harvard or MIT or Tufts, the great university center that is around Boston. Or you can go perhaps to the other end of the of Lake Ontario, and there's a similar area there. But there's no reason why that shouldn't happen anywhere. Kingston has the capability of doing this, and if we can all work together to make that happen, there is a positive, virtuous spiral that can happen that will benefit everybody. And entrepreneurship is important because entrepreneurship isn't just about founding your own company. Right? We kind of think that it is, but you can be entrepreneurial in any walk of business or any walk of life. You don't have to be entrepreneurial solely in a business. You can have an entrepreneurial attitude which helps you doing whatever it is that you want to do. So we want to bring that culture of innovation and entrepreneurship to the university, the local community, and globally. And that's the mission of DDQIC. And like you, I'm very pleased to be here to hear from the great thinkers that we've had today. Before we do that, I want to recognize the contributions of the donors, Andrew Dunin and Dunin-Deshpande, in supporting DDQIC. Innovation and Entrepreneurship Programming at Queen's received a generous investment in 2016 from the Dunin Foundation, established by Andrew Dunin, who was an undergrad here in 1983 and did his MBA in 1987, and his wife Anne, who was similarly an 83 grad, and from Dunin-Deshpande, who did his PhD here in 1979, and his wife Jashiri through the Deshpande Foundation. This combined investment significantly increased Queen's capacity to drive innovation and entrepreneurship across the university and indeed across the region, and as we heard earlier, across another continent. To thank Mike and Sue Riddle-Rose for supporting the collaborative co-working space and the DDQIC Rose Event Commons as a place for groups from across campus to enjoy, as well as the contribution of Bruce Mitchell to the Mitchell Hall. This provides wonderful innovation and wellness building that acts as the perfect venue for this annual event. Finally, thank you to the Dunin-Deshpande Queen's Innovation Centre, all of its partners, its speakers, mentors, and other supporters for offering this unique experiential learning opportunity that we have today, bringing students together from across disciplines, as well as members of the community, with a shared desire for a positive social and economic impact in their communities. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the day.
Thank you, Provost Evans. I'm now going to introduce the judges and the pitch format. So this competition is a culmination of 4 months of hard work by the teams, many of whom started their ventures from scratch at the beginning of the summer. Hundreds of ventures applied, with 12 competing in the semifinals, which took place in the last week of July. 7 ventures have been selected for the finals. What's going to happen is that once the pitches are complete, we will then welcome Executive Director of DDQIC, Greg Babington, and the judges to announce their decision of the winners. Before we get started, let me give a brief bit of background for each of the judges. Sorry. Okay. Connor Ross is a product manager at Georgian, which is a company that invests in growth stage business-to-business software companies and builds software to help those companies scale faster. He's based in Toronto, and Georgian's team brings together a unique mix of investors with machine learning professionals, software engineers, and experienced operators. Connor leads the Georgian CoLab and Investment Network, helping to accelerate growth for founders. Prior to his career with Georgian, Connor founded and ran Iris Technologies as Chief Operating Officer for 4 years, alongside his Quixi co-founder. Iris is a Canadian medtech venture that developed an assistive monitor and accompanying symptom journaling software for people suffering from concussions. Iris was acquired in 2019 by Nivicent, formerly Accelera MedTech Canada. So very much appreciate you coming, Connor. Donna Gillespie is she's an experienced leader who has managed a variety of small and medium enterprises in the public, private, and not-for-profit sectors. She's overseen significant community economic development initiatives in investment attraction, strategic planning, brand development, and corporate restructuring. Under her leadership as CEO, Kingston realized the highest levels of new foreign direct investment in the city's history with the establishment of Portuguese fruit processor Frulact and Chinese infant formula manufacturer Feihe. Donna is the CEO of Kingston Economic Development, and another very important part of the sort of triumvirate, if you want, or the partnership that we have in really trying to move Kingston forward. So we very much appreciate you coming and joining us as a judge. Donna's been involved in community associations and organizations in Kingston for over 25 years. Nikita Koputun graduated from Queen's with a degree in engineering physics. He's the co-founder and president of Juniper Creates, which is a Toronto-based company providing premium custom merchandising solutions for the world's largest online creators. He earned a spot on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in 2021. He's also a founder, AEF, and board member of the Cansbridge Fellowship, a program that accepts a small cohort of Canadian university students with exceptional character to participate in a self-organized internship in Asia. And I've certainly enjoyed participating in the workshops that they have in, well, in those years it was in Palo Alto. So very much appreciate you coming and helping as a judge as well. Prizes. I'm going to give you a heads up on what the prizes are going to be. Some of them the judges are going to decide, and we do have a Wisdom of the Market Award as well, where you'll have a chance to vote. So we'd like to thank Dean Robert Lemieux and the Faculty of Arts and Science, and Dean Kevin DeLuzio from Smith Engineering for contributing to this year's prize pool. They've generously donated funds to the prize pool to help support innovation and entrepreneurship at Queen's, and we're very grateful for their continued support. The Wisdom of the Market Award. So not a judge, but you want to say in who gets funding at the DDQIC Summer Pitch Conference, now is your chance, okay? You can vote for your favorite team to win the Wisdom of the Market Award. The team or teams who win the most votes by 4:45 p.m. will be awarded seed funding. Now, to vote, please text, okay, so like DDQIC poll 709 please text poll 709 to 37607. Okay, we're going to come back and explain this while we're waiting for the judges to adjudicate. But just make your notes because you know that we're going to explain how you can actually do this. Then text the number corresponding to the desired venture. Numbers are assigned to ventures based on the order of the pitch. We will be back with more details just to make sure it's we want you paying attention to the pitches first. Okay, so the good news, segue to pitch one. We have two special ventures joining us today as well. So Enoch Muanguzi has traveled here from Uganda to do a showcase of his venture, Uga Brush. And Enoch, are you here? Where is he? Oh, maybe is Enoch here? Or maybe he's just outside. He's just outside, okay. So during the judge deliberations, he's going to give a pitch for his venture. This is an exciting travel opportunity for Enoch from the Jim Leach MasterCard Foundation program and was 2 years in the making. We're also happy to have Enoch finally join us here. As well, we have our first pitch of the afternoon, the Provost Continuing Education team, so that's what we're going to start with, who have spent the summer working on an intrapreneurship project for Queens. So while the team will not be competing for prize money, they absolutely will be judged on their pitch and could receive a placing based on the quality of their pitch as determined by the judges. So without further ado, I will invite the first team on stage and give their pitch. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we get started, let me tell you why we are a bit different than the other groups here. The venture that we are working on is a project for Queen's University. We were tasked by the provost to research into extended learning opportunities that can be offered here at Queen's. So what problems are we addressing? First, through our research, we've discovered that there are disconnects between higher education and the workforce. Employers consistently report a lack of both hard and soft skills necessary for job performance. Similarly, students struggle to find a direct link between their education and career outcomes due to a lack of competency training. And third, due to the changing industry needs, continuing education is more critical than ever. We need upskilling programs that can quickly adapt to those market demands.
This disconnect between industry and higher education represents significant opportunities for Queen's to explore. If Queen's can effectively take advantage of this gap in the market, this will represent exciting new and flexible revenue streams for years to come. The first opportunity we looked into is the required continuing education hours for certain professions, such as the certification process for becoming a finance professional. Queen's could offer courses to aid in the certification process. Second is that there is already interest from industry in partnering with higher education institutions to outsource their training needs. Finally, there's a growing trend of unemployment, especially among Canadian youth, meaning that they need some form of structural support to launch their careers in the right direction.
So, what is the market size for continuing education? The global market is about a $40 billion industry. This is globally. In Canada, for both universities and colleges, there's about $475 million out there that we could tap into. But for Queen's and our market share, we can have $15 million every year that's left on the table that we're not currently addressing that we could through continuing education. Meet Jenny. Jenny just graduated from Queen's Life Science, and she wants to know what to do next. She go to medical school, she go to graduate school, but there's about too much school for Jenny. Jenny wants to work. She's ready for the job, but unfortunately employers don't feel the same way. Jenny needs continuing education to develop the skills and competencies to demonstrate to employers that she's ready for the workforce. What are her options? Jessie could go to a private company such as Coursera, Udemy, edX, and take fully online, self-paced courses. That's easy. Jenny wants something that's engaging. She likes Kingston. She go back to St. Lawrence College, or any college around Ontario for that matter. But colleges don't often hold the reputation and rigor that some institutions around Canada hold, such as U of T, McGill, UBC, and even Queen's. But the one thing about these institutions is that they're not Queen's. Jenny went to Queens. Jenny's friends went to Queens. Jenny's a Queens alum, and she would do anything to do continuing education at Queens. And Jenny's not the only one. Jenny could be a recent graduate. Jenny could be a career switcher who wants new skills to develop into a new field. Jenny could also be an industry professional who needs skills to stay on top of the job market and be adept in her field. Jenny's not the only one.
Introducing the Queen's School of Continuing Education, a dynamic and interdisciplinary school functioning as a business that's up to date with industry needs, offering those essential technical skills that are specific and practical, but also offering interpersonal skills that employers are as highly needed. We're making content that industry truly wants. Each of these partnerships here are those that already are partnered with Queen's, but also we've actually been able to cultivate our own over the summer. Notably, the Association of Consulting Engineering Companies of Ontario wants to co-develop with Queen's and offer over 15,000 executive engineers the opportunity to go to Queen's continuing education. Further, we need to leverage Queen's. We have a vast and very extensive global alumni network, and this has actually been validated by the Alumni Association, saying that they actually have a very large appetite for continuing education at Queen's. Notably, our alumni are also experts in their field. What a better way to offer instructors that have championed industry who can even provide celebrity endorsement to these programs. Queen's is also 8th in the world in the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. Many people aren't able to actually access the research and see the opportunity for continuing education. What a better way to provide online courses in this setting.
Taking a deeper look into our business model and how this will play out in real life, our courses will be practical rather than theoretical, and they will be nimble and flexible and responsive to the changing industry and market demands. The courses will be act as an add-on to degree programs to signal interest and specialize for students and recent grads and also career searchers. For example, someone with a commerce degree could choose to take a continuing education course in small and medium enterprise credit lending as an example.
So we've done lots of research into this topic, and there is massive opportunity here. The question is, are we going to embrace it? Empowering the future at Queen's through continuing education.
Thank you. Judges, I invite you to ask the team some questions.
Thank you very much. That was an excellent presentation and one that I am very passionate about. Working with Kingston employers, we want to make sure that talent coming out of a university like Queen's is able to meet our employers' needs, and that ideally we can keep young talent like yourselves in the community long-term to put down roots. Question I have would be, what did you use to validate with industry beyond partnerships that you forged, or with recent grads or upcoming grads about what they might want post their academic four-year program?
I can speak to that. So on top of we've done a lot of meetings with employers and a lot of meetings with potential customers. But on top of that, we've also looked into a lot of competitor schools and seeing what they're offering and seeing how they're tapping into industry needs. So we've done multiple surveys and we've done a lot of research and lots of different meetings with others just to see what everyone else is doing to address the needs of the market, and also how we can tap into that and offer something that's similar but not the same.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, guys. Sounds like you guys did a lot of interviews and sort of have a sense of what the market is. In terms of actually creating content and any one of these courses, has there been any progress on that, or what have you guys done with regard to that?
So there are continuing education initiatives at Queen. So these are all the units that currently exist. So I think a very large value proposition that we're proposing is a centralized model where the world isn't segregated like this, but people require training that's relevant and very real. So I think when we talk to employers, they say that there's a massive value for having a business acumen with engineering in the same. So I think that the co-development is something that they're all doing this successfully, but they could be leveraging those partnerships and building into those things. So for us, it's the co-development of, we already are doing it very specific, but we could be really providing a very valuable partnership opportunity as well.
Makes sense, thanks.
What would be like a potential student or learner's primary motivation for choosing Queens over some of these other solutions?
I think that really touches on our alumni aspect. I think that's our main target market, and that they have that connection to Queens. And yeah, you could take, you go to Coursera, edX, and take these online courses, but there's no connection there, and they have no real reason to take that. And I feel like, well, through our research, we've understood that a lot of Queens alumni like to stay connected to the school, not only through different initiatives, but homecomings and courses, and through different through media. I think there's a big alumni appetite, not only in Kingston, but also in Toronto, and that's something that we want to tap into.
What are next steps? What are you guys doing after the summer?
Yeah, so we actually have a slide on next steps as well. So we are definitely looking into doing more research and investigation over immediate implementation of the program. So some research areas that we're looking into is web scraping of job postings across the internet for common job requirements and then group them by career paths. And we can also try to find related continuing education courses for other disciplines in addition to finance, because that's the area that I personally mostly looked into, and also look for areas of growth for jobs. And finally, driving those partnerships with those key decision makers at banks, for example. So those would be the regional vice presidents and the head of HR.
Why is this an interesting opportunity for Queens? You've clearly shown it is an opportunity, but why this versus some other strategic initiative?
I think it is near and dear to a lot of people to feel like they value their own education, and Queens is already very successful at so many ways in education in terms of research-intensive institution, and it's also primarily undergraduate, but we don't really have a presence. Like, the IRC is very, very, very successful, and they're actually one of the best in Canada at what they do. But when you walked around when we did our interviews, nobody even knew who they were. So I think that there's a very large value proposition to leverage the success that a lot of these units are doing. And I think that people could actually access those. Like, as a student myself, I didn't even know those were opportunities. So I think that we can really provide our students with more, because it is continuing education. And even a student that's graduating now versus somebody that's graduating in 10 years, they have a very different view of what education would look like to them, and what a better way to provide that to those people. Thank you.
Next up, we have Monarch Informatics.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Monarch Informatics, and after this pitch, you will understand how we can transform hospital laboratories. Let's get into it. In January 2021, 10% of lab tests at a major Ontario hospital had to be thrown out because they were contaminated with harmful organisms, misdiagnosing patients and delaying operations from the ER to the ICU. Now, regulations mandate this contamination rate is only 3%. So why wasn't this caught sooner when the rate was 5%, 9%, 10%? Well, unfortunately, there is a fire hose of data coming in that lab workers do not have the time or the tools to handle. Here's Dr. Sheth, Director of Microbiology at the Kingston General Hospital. If he wants to know a metric like contamination rate, he needs to email his IT department. 3 weeks later, they come back with this. Now, Dr. Sheth is not a data analyst, so how is he supposed to monitor any metric in the lab when it takes him 8 hours to analyze this report? It's not just Dr. Sheth. We've interviewed lab directors across North America in the same boat. They need data on a daily basis to make decisions, but the current process is to request random spreadsheets that take weeks to create and analyze. Wouldn't it be great if he could have easy access to data and be prescribed and alerted when metrics cross a critical threshold?
Introducing Lola. We partnered with Dr. Sheth to streamline this laborious process and let doctors focus on being doctors. With Lola, Dr. Sheth sees an alert. In this location, contamination rates were up 5% and are predicted to go to 10% within the month. Then it would suggest a possible solution, like patients may need to be sanitized more effectively. The best part is contamination rate is just one of the 200 metrics tracked, predicted, and alerted by Lola. From turnaround times and positivity rates to testing capacity and inventories, Dr. Sheth uses this every single day at KGH. And each day, we save lab technicians time. We save KGH $40,000 a year in just overtime wages because 30% of their salary comes from overtime pay. And if we can reduce current contamination rate by 10%, we can get patients out of hospitals sooner. That means we can save KGH $1.6 million in just length of stay costs per year.
Here's Dr. Fatou. He's Director of Microbiology at Unity, which is one of the largest hospital networks in Ontario. When we showed him Lola, he said, Lola's visualizations are unmatched. And he's not alone, because we talked to dozens of lab directors from Toronto to Dallas to Lima, and they're all interested in Lola. And it's no surprise they are, because the healthcare predictive analytics market is valued at $7 billion and projected to grow at a rapid 24% to reach $30 billion in 2030. Segmenting by microbiology labs gives us a serviceable, addressable market of $360 million today. And we're already positioned to take our share of this market because we have these 6 champions at these hospitals who want to test our pilot in April of 2025. When we launch Lola's full version, we are going to go back to our champions and use their networks of 60+ hospitals to achieve scale.
We've done a competitor analysis. Lola meets the needs of labs better than any other competitor on the market. We particularly excel in real-time monitoring of reports and predictive analytics. Everyone, $30,000 invested in improving the front-end, back-end, security, and overall technical readiness of Lola can make this pilot happen. It is expected to generate $200,000 in revenue and will provide the needed funds for us to build Lola's full production version. Full launch is planned for April of 2026, where just 9 customers will give us the necessary annual recurring revenue for us to have ongoing profitability. And we're the team to bring Lola to market with diverse skill sets and the ability to develop software combined with Dr. Sheth's years of industry experience. Lab workers like Dr. Fatou and Dr. Sheth will never suffer again laboring over data. Help us transform labs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was really, really awesome. How did the genesis of the idea come about?
So Dr. Pramit Sheth, who's in the audience today, came to us with this product. And he said, in 2021, I had no idea how many COVID tests I had. And so he worked with some software engineers to create this dashboard that allows him to see how many COVID tests he has, and he can change the date so we can see today, a week, or a whole year. So it started with his real problem that he had in the lab, and he's a go-getter. So he went out and he made himself a solution. And he knows, and we know, that other labs have this problem because we've interviewed them. And so now it's our job to take it to other labs and help them realize the same benefits that Pramit's been having.
Can you talk a little bit more about your decision to launch in April and what will happen between now and then, why it's happening at that time, et cetera?
Sure. So we want to launch in April because that is the start of hospitals' fiscal years, which means they procure their software ahead of time and prepare the budget ahead of time so that their fiscal is steady throughout the year. And we believe that we can launch for then because Lola is already built and in use at KGH, so it just needs a couple of refinements, which is what we need the $30,000 for. And so we'll be refining this final quarter of 2024. Meanwhile, we're going to be making our pre-sales for the pilot, and then starting in January, that's when we're going to be integrating Lola with these other hospitals, and then pilot launch will start in April of 25, and that's when we're going to start earning the revenue from it.
Quick follow-up, the KGH pilot sounds great. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what's been going on there?
For sure. So it's been in use in KGH for 2 years now, and Permeet uses it every single day as well. Sorry, Dr. Sheth uses it every single day, as well as other charge technologists and microbiologists. And so that's where we've been taking a lot of the benefits that we see delivered, from overtime wages saved to faster length of stay, is because they already use this prototype. And so what we want to do as well is include them in a quantitative study that we do with the rest of our pilot hospitals in April of 25 to really solidify the benefits that are delivered by this product. And that's going to inform our pricing model for the full launch, which is in April of 2026.
Thanks.
I have so many questions. I'm just deciding. What is your sense on whether or not this is possible or useful for microbiology labs outside of the hospital setting? Is this still a problem there? Is that a future expansion or direction?
So we've talked to labs across the continent in Victoria, BC, Ontario, Alberta, every province in Canada, as well as all of the major hubs in the States like New York and Dallas. And they've all come back to us and said the same thing, that they don't have the ability to properly leverage the data that they have stored in their labs. So with that validation, we know that every microbiology lab within North America needs Lola.
How come hospitals first, or how come just hospitals? Yeah, talk me through that kind of expansion plan.
So are you asking about the distinction between why we're selling to hospitals as opposed to private labs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So private labs at the end of the day don't make decisions on how to operate their lab based off of off of their lab test data. What we're doing is providing the analytics that allow the hospitals to make educated decisions on how to efficiently sanitize or operate the processes of a hospital at large, not solely just a laboratory.
Right, okay, makes sense. Have you come across any regulatory barriers or barriers to selling or growing in any sense? I know Canada is different from the States and state by state, so forth.
Yeah, so fortunately, Lola does not process any patient confidential data because it's just general laboratory data. And so we don't classify as a medical device, so we don't need Health Canada approval. So in that sense, it's pretty easy, smooth sailing with, with the security concerns.
Cool. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Next up, we have Solus Mobility. Come on down.
This is Hugo and Jade. We met with them to learn more about their motor rehabilitation experiences. 6 months ago, Hugo was in an accident where he shattered the bones in his hand, and Jade had a stroke that affected her motor skills. Hugo, a professional musician, is now worried that he may never return to work. Jade can't hold the spoon to feed her toddler. Their insurance covers only one occupational therapy session a month. In between these sessions, they are not practicing the exercises recommended by their therapist because Hugo is frustrated that he can't see himself improving, and Jade is discouraged by her lack of mobility. Hugo and Jade are not alone. In fact, most people with motor impairments, including recent stroke, spinal cord injury, and orthopedic conditions, do not engage in sufficient rehabilitation to achieve optimal function. Improving mobility requires consistent engagement in rehabilitation exercises. However, financial constraints and shortages of therapists make it difficult to access regular in-person physical therapy. Additionally, like Hugo and Jade, many people lose the motivation and focus to practice at home. This missed opportunity in rehabilitation leads to reduced function, an increase in hospital readmissions, and a lower quality of life.
Introducing Solace Mobility, a web application that encourages people to engage in more at-home rehabilitation in complement to in-person therapy. So we offer practice sessions for different rehabilitation exercises like finger pinching, closing and opening the hand, and shoulder shrugging. We use hand and upper body tracking software that requires only a computer webcam or the front camera of tablets and smartphones to detect when an exercise has been completed. Since everyone will have different mobility levels, we take baseline measurements from each user, so the definition of a complete movement depends only on their own ability. So to practice, users can choose to play a game where certain movements provide the controls. So for example, in this game shown, users must pinch individual fingers when each fruit reaches its basket to get points. The users can also choose non-gamified practice sessions with visual instructions and real-time feedback that encourages correct hand and body position. When a user feels that they've practiced sufficiently, they can take an assessment, so quantitative metrics like pinch distance and joint angles will be recorded and saved, and that way users can track their progress and visualize meeting their goals. Before beginning a test, we just encourage people to note things like how much sleep they got and their level of activity that week, because these factors can affect their results. So our total addressable market consists of everyone in Canada and the US who attends occupational or physical therapy, which is about 56 million people. Of that population, 12.5% of them have an upper limb motor impairment and could benefit from using our software. And then we've estimated that about half of them actually desire more at-home rehabilitation. So this makes our serviceable obtainable market 3.5 million users. And this is just a starting point, since we don't want to limit ourselves to just North America.
We plan to generate revenue through two primary streams. The first is Solace Solo, where users can pay a subscription fee to access a variety of generalized exercises and games. We also plan to introduce Solace Guided, where clinics pay a quote fee, which will allow therapists to customize patient exercise plans and monitor patient progress. We estimate that by 2030, we will capture 10% of our SOM, and with a subscription fee of $15 a month, we expect a total annual recurring revenue of $63 million. Our main competitors are Ludofit, Flint Rehab, and Modus Nova, which all offer gamified rehabilitation. What sets us apart is our web-based solution accessible on any device. We also require no additional equipment, making us more affordable, and we offer fine motor exercises tailored to each user's ability. We have substantial evidence that the opportunity is viable in just 2.5 months. We received an incredible amount of positive feedback from clinicians, researchers, and people with motor impairments. With every clinician we spoke with truly believes Solace is something that could benefit their patients. We've also developed 3 prototypes, which are currently being tested by over 30 end users, and we have partnered with 5 clinic and rehabilitation programs, which will allow us to gain more testers shortly.
And we've also developed a roadmap over the next 5 years. And so in year 1, we would like to improve the functionality of our solo model, as well as acquire more end users in clinics. In year 2, we would like to launch that solo model to begin generating revenue, work with users and therapists to start developing our guided model, as well as implement a long-term research study to prove the effectiveness of our software. In year 3, we would like to launch our guided model, and then over the next 2 years, implement things like lower limb, facial, and full body exercises. And then with this, we would like to penetrate the global market to grow our user base to the hundreds of millions. And we have a very strong and diverse team, so with backgrounds in software engineering, biomedical engineering, finance, and sales, backed by a team of mentors with expertise in web development, AI, and business, and occupational therapy. They are the perfect complement to help Solace Mobility revitalize motion. Which brings us to our ask of $30,000, broken down in the categories you see here. That will help us make a product that will support more and more people, just like Hugo and Jade. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Donna to go if you have a question, or I want you put on the spot.
Thank you. Really well done. I have a question regarding from now through to, let's say, your phase 2, which is launch of your solo. And what resources do you see requiring in these next 2 years to get you to full, you've got a subscription base to sell?
So what we want to do in the next 18 months is we want to start getting more testers, and we want to do that through the 5 clinics we've already acquired, but continue to do that. What we need in terms of the development, we've really focused on development as the key point for that 16 months or 18 months. And so we wanted to bring in some more expertise. We are in conversations with MyTechs to create an internship for someone with software development skills, as well as rehabilitation science, so we can really leverage the resources of other institutions. And that will really help us be able to iterate our solution and continue to evolve and grow and make sure that we're capturing all the needs of our users before we launch.
Business to consumer can be a very hard business model. And what I'm struck by here is that already a lot of these users have a challenging time already taking care of themselves. And further, presumably if your platform worked, they would actually churn from it, right? They wouldn't need to use it anymore. So curious if you've thought about long-term what that means for the business model and viability for the business.
So a lot of the people we've spoken to actually have long-term motor impairment. So if you have a stroke, it's not just a simple oh, I'll be better in 2 months. It's actually it can affect you for the rest of your life. And we actually have 2 models. So we have the B2C model, but we also have a B2B model for clinics. And with that, we expect that even if clinics have patient turnover, they can continue to recommend new patients to use our products. So we don't really expect that to be much of an issue.
How come B2C first, though, instead of the clinics?
Just because the B2B model is going to be a lot more sophisticated, since we're going to be developing custom exercise plans for each patient that a clinic asks us to do. The solo model is kind of just generalized exercises that anyone can use, so it'll be a lot easier for us to develop that first and kind of use it as a framework to develop our guided model, which will be a lot more nuanced.
What are you hearing so far from the patients in your pilots and those partnerships? And specifically, why do they like some of your initial prototypes over any alternative?
Yeah, so when we talked a little bit about our competitors and we talked a little bit about with these patients, we did quite a bit of quantitative research with them and talked to them and sat down and had meetings with them. And a lot of what they're saying is the wearable devices are great for fine motor control, but they don't grow with you. And they're a huge upfront cost. So Modus Nova, it's lab quality technology, and it costs close to $2,000 to $20,000 for a device. And then similarly with Flint. And so what they were saying about Solace is they could really see themselves growing with it. So because we're really focused on that progression of exercises, which is influenced by all of our mentors, as well as we're using the GRASP method, which is coming out of UBC. It's a new research on that progression. We're really focused on kind of keeping those different steps available. So our technology grows with our users. So that's a very big differentiator between a lot of our competitors.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Thank you. You spoke about entering Canada, North America, but you have visions of going global. Have you given thought to, or even within a North American context, how you're creating the content, the tools on the platform that are diverse and recognize different communities of your clients?
Yeah, so we've spoken to a lot of end users about this, and they've given us a lot of feedback about how we can make our platform as accessible as possible, because especially a lot of our end users are also going to have some sort of cognitive impairments as well. So we've gotten feedbacks to make to add features where you can change colors and font size and stuff like that, and we're going to have visual and audio instructions as well, so lots of different people will be able to access them. And then once we consider expanding to other countries where they speak different languages, we're going to have offerings in different languages, and not just English, obviously. So, yeah, does that answer your question? Thank you. Okay.
All right, great job, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next team, and the last before we have the break, is Fast Find AI. Just as they're getting ready to get set up with microphones. The first three teams that you've seen are the finalists from the summer program. And now what you're going to see are the finalists from the regional qualifying pitch, both before the break and after the break as well. So, Find Fast AI, please come on up.
So, as of 2024, the Canadian government estimates about 45% of Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. That's almost half the people in this room. This goes to show how crucial radiologists are in our healthcare system. You ever stopped and asked yourself, how hard is it to spot cancer in a medical scan? So to show us how hard it truly is, we're going to try ourselves today. So here we have an MRI for a woman with breast cancer. So just look at the image, try and find the cancer yourselves. Is it the right breast and the left? Maybe it's closer to the middle of the chest cavity. Now, radiologists have to sift through hundreds of these images every single day, looking the most subtle of clues like tiny masses or unusual tissue patterns. You guys probably spotted a nice big mass in the right breast. What if I told you there's another one, a lot more subtle, right here? Oftentimes, when radiologists spot a single anomaly, they stop right there. That accounts for about 20% of radiological errors. Now, as you guys can probably imagine, the task of manually sort of analyzing images, very arduous, very difficult process. Coupled with the fact that there's long wait times for MRI scans, that means that Canadians are waiting on average 90 days for an MRI, so the recommended 30-day wait time. Now, given the fact that radiologists work very long hours, there's a large volume of cases, it's really easy to sort of make these little mistakes, and the lower estimate is about a 4% error rate for all radiologists, which is about 40 million errors every year. And one missed detail is the only difference between early stage treatment and late stage diagnosis, which profoundly affects patient outcomes, which is precisely why we're designing Fast Find AI, point of care software that automatically detects anomalies for radiologists, acting like a second set of eyes, really assisting them in a day-to-day practice. So our software features a DICOM image viewer, which is the international standard for medical images. Additionally, we have features to enhance the image resolution, making scans much more clear. And of course, we have the automated anomaly detection. So these features mean the analysis time takes much less, and wait times are reduced, leading to better patient outcomes. So we're trying to operate with a SaaS model on a per user per month basis. We're pricing ourselves about $100 per user per month. And assuming a 5% market penetration rate for uniquely Canadian hospitals, makes it about $15.5 million in ARR. So currently, we're partnering up at the University of Ottawa at the Entrepreneurship Hub and the Start Garage program, which allows us to really develop our MVP, which has been validated on MRI scans. Within the next year, we'd like to partner up at the Ottawa Hospital and the Cornwall Community Hospital to pilot test our product, really validating on real patient data, as well as just seeing how it integrates into true hospital workflows. Now, this is currently in progress, pending a data usage agreement at the Cornwall Community Hospital. In the next 2 years, we'd like to deploy at least 10 different Canadian hospitals servicing MRI scans, ultrasounds, and CT scans. Further down the line, we'd like to partner directly with the Canadian Association for Radiologists, really leveraging their network of medical professionals for word-of-mouth marketing. So, in terms of what's already on the market, a lot of radiology softwares don't feature automated anomaly detection, which truly gives us an edge. Also, a lot of companies don't offer direct software purchases. You have to buy hardware as well, which drives up prices and also reduces your ability to really integrate into current hospital workflows. As a Canadian company, we have an intimate understanding of the legal landscape surrounding AI usage, which means that our product not only be cutting edge, but also compliant with national regulations, such as the up-and-coming Artificial Intelligence and Data Act. So we believe that our team has a unique skill set, really puts us in a great position to tackle this problem. I myself have previous startup experience. At my previous venture, we brought a product from idea to market and raised nearly $100,000 in pre-seed funding. Our COO, Albino, is a medical student at the University of Ottawa, and he has a large network of medical professionals that we're currently leveraging to form partnerships. Last but not least, we have a big technical backbone formed of Matt and Nareg, who both have PhDs in artificial intelligence. In terms of what we'll do with the money, first and foremost, I'd like to really scale up our product development cycle, so to really reduce training time for our models and reduce the amount of time it takes to prototype. Afterwards, used our My Legal consult to make sure that our medical device application with Health Canada is good to go, since it's a really big obstacle to actually operate in the Canadian market. Last but not least, we attend lots of medical and technology conferences to really expand our network. So as we've shown, AI can be used to reduce the time to analyze images and reduce wait times in the Canadian healthcare system, and really improve patient outcomes. So let's invest in smarter imaging solutions. Let's invest in the future for all Canadians.
Thank you. Over to the judges.
Thank you, both. Question about your competitors. What other products are out there that are in use?
So there's a lot of different, I guess, radiology management softwares, that's what they called. So oftentimes that's to process and visualize images, as well as sort of share patient data across different parts of the hospital. Additionally, there are certain AI features to automate the workflows and sometimes to automate the anomaly detections. But mainly in the Canadian markets, we don't really have very much, I guess, automated anomaly detection.
Thank you.
Yeah, where are you sourcing the data to train your models, and what does that pipeline look like in general?
So models is actually, surprisingly, it was our biggest initial hurdle, but we have access to the cancer imaging archive now. So we have untold number of imaging data sets across all types of imaging processes, so CT, ultrasound, all different ones, all different body parts, and almost the majority of them are Creative Commons with commercial use. So we're able to train the model with all this online data that's been verified by radiologists. We can read through, see some of them have been verified with radiologists that have 10, 20 years experience. The only reason we're actually doing the pilot study in the Canadian hospitals, we have the working model, is actually to work on that integration to existing workflows. We know the Canadian, we have our contacts at the Ottawa Hospital. The Director of Innovation has even told us that they want to modernize their workflows. They're operating on what they call archaic technology. We want to get in early while they're developing, develop alongside them, so our product is immediately ready to go with their new modernized workflows.
Has anyone that you've talked to in Canada using any sort of automated processing solution?
So in Canada, it's a bit more challenging. So there's, as he mentioned, there's other companies do this. They're mostly in the States. And there's a reason for that. They can sell directly to the hospitals, the private hospitals. It's an easier process. In Canada, you have to go through Health Canada. As of right now, there are no known ones on the market because this process is challenging. And this is what's actually hindering a lot of the Americans from coming up here to sell this technology. Some of those companies have existed for 10 years. Why haven't they come up? It's that Health Canada medical device license that's challenging to get. They have to modify their products just to get into the Canadian market. And that's actually hindering them from even trying and giving us a great opportunity to get in there early.
How do you see yourself getting Health Canada approval more easily than them?
So a couple big things. The first one is, while Nick mentioned, a big part of our money is actually to go into that legal and regulatory compliance. We're aware of what's coming. We know in 2025, there is that Data Act that's pending approval. If that gets approved, any technology that's in Canada right now that's already trying for this, they have to adapt their product to meet these regulations. We are not only trying to meet the regulations, but a big part of this with Health Canada is the class. And we are aiming, we've already figured out what type of class our license would fall for. It would fall for a class 4, which is still quite high, indicating a good wait time. But the biggest thing that we're seeing is, not only is this longer wait time, but with this advantage of being in the Canadian regulatory market, we can get ahead of our competitors in the States and anyone coming up here.
Can you talk a little bit more about the business model? I caught $100 a month per user, but not much more than that. So just a little bit more about how you came up with that and why you see it working.
So we sort of looked at different radiology management softwares, what they're pricing at. So they range all the way from $500 per user per month to about $50. So we put ourselves at 100 just to kind of strike a medium. And we plan on selling sort of directly to the hospitals and be on a per user per month basis. And essentially, the idea is, like, there's more than just radiologists that use the software, so lots of actual physicians and oncologists and even assistant and sort of, I guess, like managerial staff for case management use the software as well. So by selling directly to the hospitals, we have like a wealth of users to access.
What's your estimate per hospital in terms of number of users?
Per hospital, it depends on the size. Off the top of my head,
I can
probably.
I can jump in on this one if you'd like. So we're looking at usually about at minimum around 100 users. However, it really depends if it's rural or city. So if we're aiming for somewhere like Toronto or the Ottawa Hospital, where we have a bigger market versus say like the Renfrew Hospital, like somewhere further out, more regional. Those regional hospitals, it won't be as big. And that's why we want to eventually expand our services to offer to ultrasound and CT scans. So imaging modalities that these smaller hospitals in rural areas can afford to still leverage our advantage of our technology. We'd still be able to give them that ability as well. But larger hospitals, we obviously have a much bigger pool to pull from.
Unsolicited advice, I think you should charge more. Or do a consumption model and charge per image processed.
So, really quick on that, the idea is to start at $100 per user, and once we expand our services, we start upping our price. So once we start offering more services, we can then expand our price model and really incorporate, not only do we offer for MRI, we're offering for CT scan, we're offering for ultrasound. So once we get into their workflow with one modality, and they get really content with how it's working, and they realize it's been developed alongside to work exactly for their hospital, we can then begin expanding our services and upping our price model.
Awesome.
So I just wondered, is it helping the physicians to not miss things, or is it, where's the, like, what's helping the physician?
So it's twofold. So one, it's to help them prevent missing things, and that obviously affects patient outcomes. It affects their liability as well, if they are no longer as liable because they're missing less. The other thing is, depending on the workflow, they can spend anywhere from 15 minutes to days looking at a single scan. The idea is to cut down that time by illuminating everything in the scan. They have that second set of eyes that, what really the problem is, they think they missed something. So they'll keep looking back, even if they don't. Sometimes they do this. So it's a way to give them a second set of eyes, cut down their actual time spending on each scan, which increases the amount of patients that can go through the system.
Thank you very much. Now, we have been very time efficient, and so as a reward, you get a bit of a longer break. We are going to start again at 3:45. Okay, if it's not too early in the afternoon for you, there is a cash bar at the back if you'd like to grab a refreshment. Okay. But otherwise, please feel free to. By the way, the washrooms are, if you go out into the hall, into the main atrium, just down on the right-hand side as you go down. Okay. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the first half. Lots of more great pitches coming at the break. And, pardon? Oh, sorry, and cookies at the back. The rewards get better and better. You have extra time to eat cookies. Thank you.
Don't forget.
But you're not allowed to go to sleep.
Yeah, those are a great start.
Yeah. Definitely a lot more thought in our year, but I think they trimmed down. Like they have the sentence.
Neil, they're not paying. I want you to show me the way. I'll start singing if you don't sit down.
I'm not going to sit down then, Joe.
No, there we go. That's a compliment.
And then he'll put your slide up.
Okay, we are ready to start the second half. Okay, just a reminder, wisdom of the market, you can vote for all of the teams that you're going to see. So don't put those votes in quite yet, okay? Because there's some really good teams coming up as well. We are going to kick off the second half of the afternoon with local reach. Now, local reach is actually a 2-year venture. So the DDQIC has 2 programs. We've got the intensive full-time summer, and then we've got 2-year venture, which is a part-time throughout the year. So the next team that you're going to see is local reach, and it's our 2-year venture team. So without further ado, I will welcome them in.
Sounds good. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Evan. This is Joseph, Hussein, and alongside Emmett, we are the co-founders of Local Reach. Let me introduce you to Maria. Maria is a proud member of the Kingston community and even owns her own restaurant. However, ever since the pandemic, she's been struggling to turn a profit after recent rent hikes and rising food costs.
Unfortunately, Maria is not the only one that's facing these issues. Did you know that 60% of restaurants actually fail within their first year and 80% fail within their first 5? Over half of restaurants in all of Canada are currently losing money. This led us to uncover a very serious problem. Restaurants and bars are struggling to make a profit.
Maria's venues, she's making exactly $0 from any commercials that she's putting on display. We're here to fix that. All Maria has to do is reach out to us, and then we'll be able to send her one of our easy-to-install plug-and-play devices, which she can set up, get up and running in under 30 seconds. Once the device is installed, commercials and advertisements, which she used to have 0 control over, are now replaced with local reach ads, as well as her own specials and offers. Customers who go to her bar to watch, let's say, the Olympics or the NBA Finals can still enjoy their entertainment. But the best part is, not only is this service completely free for Maria, she actually gets a share of revenue that her local reach ads generate. So why advertise with us? Well, firstly, we provide advertisers with engaged audiences, customers who are already glued to the TVs. Secondly, we provide targeted advertising. Many of these bars and restaurants have a very specific clientele, which advertisers can leverage to make their ads stand out. Lastly, Local Reach is a company that gives back. By supporting Local Reach, you're also supporting the local restaurants and bars in your neighborhood. So what have we been up to this summer? Well, we've run 5 different pilot runs at a variety of restaurants across Kingston and Toronto. We've had over 350 conversations with different restaurant owners, bar owners, as well as advertisers, 100 of those being recorded interviews. One of the most proud moments for the Local Reach team this summer has actually been when one of our customers reached out to personally thank us for acquiring her a new lead. So, we've also done a 2-week paid pilot run right here in downtown Kingston at the Pilot House, which generated us $1,500 in revenue, $400 of that going towards the Pilot House. Through our successful pilot runs, we've been able to acquire a large amount of partnerships right here in Kingston, especially at some places you guys might have been to, such as Brass, Tommy's, and The Mansion. I'd also like to point out that Brass is actually hiring a professional videographer for when we launch in early September.
You'll also notice that we garnered a lot of interest from many brands that you may recognize, most notably Jack Astor's, The Keg, and Pepsi, which I have a follow-up meeting with next Wednesday. Based upon our market research, we identified our beachhead market as sports bars within Ontario. Once we capture both our SOM and SAM, we plan to expand into other bars, restaurants, and even gyms across North America. For our business model, we charge our advertisers on a monthly subscription basis. For venue owners like Maria, our service is completely free. For our advertisers, they can choose to advertise in 3 different types of venues, each of them categorized by the amount of foot traffic they garner. I'd also like to point out that even at our most premium price point, local reach is half the cost per impression of traditional TV advertising. Although we have a handful of competitors, our service stands out. Traditional TV add-ons such as Yodex and Atmosphere heavily restrict what TV content you can play. For example, you can't play any live sports. Other businesses like Tive charge owners like Maria a monthly subscription fee, while with Local Reach, our service is free to use, hassle-free, and unlocks an additional revenue stream for Maria.
We created a timeline to represent Local Reach's journey as we plan to expand and scale into the market. I'd first like to officially announce that we're launching here in Kingston this upcoming September, where within 1 year, we hope to acquire 27 sports bars across Ontario, and within 2 years, we'll increase that to 45. But how do we plan to go to market? Well, as a two-sided business, we need 2 strategies. For our venues, we'll be targeting sports bars in Ontario, starting from Kingston, going to Toronto, and then expanding to various other cities. We'll be incorporating a direct sales approach alongside some targeted advertising to accomplish our goals. For our advertisers, we will primarily target niches that we have already proven to be effective in sports bars. For example, auto dealerships and breweries. And once we have enough venues, we'll be able to garner large corporate deals and general advertising deals. We'll also incorporate some general marketing strategies in order to increase brand awareness and tell the business community about Local Reach's platform. We'd like to ask for $30,000. Well, we will distribute that into 3 main categories: marketing and sales, material costs, and R&D. We're a team of 4 highly dedicated team of co-founders who are balanced in terms of business and technical experience. And alongside our advisors and mentors and our trusted accelerators, we're excited to bring Local Reach to the Kingston community. Thank you so much, judges and everyone, for your time, and we hope you enjoy.
Thank you. Judges, please.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on launching your business in Kingston this fall. Quick question about your market. So you have the venues, but you're not asking for any funding. There's no revenue from the venues, the sports bars. It's purely from the advertisers, correct?
Correct.
And then for the subscription prices, you had 3 different tiers based on impressions. How can you guarantee impressions?
Yeah, so I'd be happy to answer that question. So with our current system, we use a small computer inside of these venues, and we're able to track how many unique phone signatures actually enter these venues. From there, we apply a standard out-of-home advertising formula to calculate the number of impressions each venue generates.
Thank you. I have one follow-up question. How is it legal that you can put your own advertising over television, like broadcast advertising?
Of course. So we've researched the legality of our service for quite some time, and we've actually spoken to 2 different lawyers. 2 different lawyers, an IP lawyer and a startup lawyer, through one of our accelerator partners at Innovation Factory. It's also important to note that venues such as bars, restaurants, and even viewers have been changing the channels during commercial breaks for extended periods of times. From a technical standpoint, the way Local Reach works is we just do an automated TV channel switch. We never actually tamper with the digital TV stream itself. Also, I would like to add, we do have one direct competitor in the US, Tive. Tive specializes in replacing TV commercial breaks with in-house advertisements and entertainment for venues. Tive is actually backed by Y Combinator, and they actually implement a technology very similar to Local Reach's system. based upon Tive's, our research on Tive, and also our legal team with the Innovation Factory. We believe we've minimized our legal concerns, and going forward, we look forward to counseling with our legal team about the legality of our service, ensuring we're compliant with any regulations.
Can you talk a little bit more about the device and how it works exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to go into depth. Oh, sorry. It's working. Yep. So this is kind of a general device breakdown. Fundamentally, the device has three main components, which is our small computer, Raspberry Pi, as well as a switching device, as well as our algorithms. So at a higher level, we have developed a computer vision model, which is able to detect the difference between commercial ads as well as general entertainment. This is deployed using a Raspberry Pi, which is basically a small computer at venues, and is connected to a switching service, which is able to switch the display of TVs when an advertisement occurs. I would love to go into in details and the nitty-gritty of how we design the system and all the algorithms, but unfortunately that would take all day. So if anybody has any in-depth questions, I would love to answer them after our presentation.
And I'm looking at the cost to develop those, I guess, on the right there, right? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay. How many venues do you see actually breaking even on or potentially losing money on? How do you guys think about that?
So, sorry, do you mean that in a financial term or in the technical term of how much we can scale to?
Financial term, right? Like you're deploying these to presumably many TVs in a particular venue. You have to suss out, I guess, which venues have enough consumers coming in, and just how do you think about all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So on average, through our different pilot runs, we've noticed that the number usually evens out to around 3 cable boxes. So we do need one device per cable box. That averages out to 3 devices per venue. However, I'd also like to point out that our device installation is a one-time cost for us. Once the device is installed, unless something horrifically goes wrong or we need to replace the system, that is a one-time cost. So generally, we do expand to medium-sized businesses is what we've identified as our beachhead market and where we want to expand into just to gain the most amount of value. But as we move on to our SOM as well as our TAM, we will be generally expanding to whichever restaurants, as long as they have a TV, we're hoping to expand into them.
Thanks.
How would you use proceeds over the next 6 months to a year?
So we've actually provided an in-depth breakdown on exactly how we're going to spend that $30,000 if given to us. So you'll notice majority of the cost does come in research and development. This is because the next phase of our business is rapid restaurant expansion. Thus, we need to make sure our system is scalable and easily implementable in these restaurants. So the majority of the breakdown for research and development will first go into our MyTax intern as well as contract specialists. The reason why we have an intern is because as an AI company as well as a hardware company, we have to do a lot of time-intensive tasks that are, although important, not something we can focus on as founders. Thus, that's where the MyTax intern comes in. For the contract specialist, this is just somebody to make sure that our product is production ready when we want to talk to manufacturers about producing our product in bulk. Hardware and software costs generally comes down to purchasing new technology as well as cloud computing and training our models and anything that entails when we're rapidly prototyping. For our costs into marketing, and most of that money will be spent for CRMs, advertising, as well as purchasing leads, since we've noticed that direct sales has been our most effective sales strategy. Thus, by purchasing leads, we'll be able to expedite that process, increasing our revenue drastically. For operational costs...
We'll have to stop there, actually, thanks, because time's up.
Sorry about that.
No, lots of great detail. Thank you. And thank you again, guys. Well done. Next up, we have Volscanner AI, and this is one of our regional pitch final pitch qualifiers.
Hi everyone, my name is Simon. I'm the founder of Volscanner AI, the first AI-powered WordPress security solution. Imagine this, sleepless nights, a lot of sacrifice, but you made it. You have your own business. 40% of our internet is made with WordPress. Chances are that's what you're going to use to make your own website. Unfortunately, 43% of all small and medium businesses get hacked every year. Of those, 60% don't make it past 6 months and are forced to shut down permanently. But why is that? Cybersecurity is very expensive and complicated, and cheaper solutions don't offer comprehensive security, leaving customers vulnerable to attacks. We created Bone Scanner AI. We focus on ease of use and affordability. You can install it with just 3 clicks, and you're going to get a report highlighting all your vulnerabilities. You can then choose to fix them all with 1 click for most issues, and for more complicated issues, you're going to get a step-by-step guide with information on how to fix your issue. Still too complicated? Just open a ticket. We offer support for any security-related issues. But cybersecurity is not only about preventing attacks. It's also about what happened next and to ensure business continuity. That's why we offer military-grade encrypted backups, impossible to break even with quantum computers. So if you get hacked, just open a ticket. Either we fix your website or we restore it to a previous version and make sure it doesn't happen again. Bone Scanner AI is a centralized management platform, meaning it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 100 websites, you can control all of them from the same place. And security is not only about peace of mind, it's also about reputation, customer, and search engines. Better reputation means ranking higher on Google and means in turn more money. You can control that from the Bone Scanner dashboard. The application security market growing at 14% per year, this year $11.3 billion. We are positioned to serve a wide variety of customers, but a question is, why choose Bone Scanner AI? We are the first and only AI-powered solution tailored to WordPress. We offer complete monitoring that goes beyond WordPress code. We offer one-on-one support for all security-related issues. We do reputation monitoring, and we are unique in that, and we're compliant for most businesses in Canada and the United States. Marketing strategy include a mix of inbound and outbound strategies. We focus on organic social media content creation, influencer marketing, paid ads, and free tools like the one we created, CheckSite AI, that I'm going to introduce shortly, as well as we do email outreach. Our business model is B2C and B2B. For customers, we do a freemium model and we upsell after they get into the app. For businesses, we have Pro and Enterprise plan, Enterprise being the most comprehensive solution at $69.99 per month. And we offer free enterprise-grade service to all nonprofit organizations. We believe this is going to expand our customer network as well as improve our brand image. Milestones. In a year and a half we've been active, we reached several milestones. We created CheckSite AI, which is a free tool that anybody can use, and it allows you to scan any website to detect if they are safe or scam before you use them. Last month, we had 4,200 users on the website, generating 15,000 views, and we implemented ads there, so that's a new revenue stream. We concluded beta for Bone Scanner, 30 users, 5 of them businesses from Ontario, and we currently have 60 users with 5 paid trials expected to convert in September to a paid plan. We have been featured on the famous antivirus website Avast Antivirus on their forum, as well as on the Toolify AI website. Our expenses are extremely low because we do everything in-house. We are expected to reach 10 customers by the end of the year, generating $12,000 yearly revenue. Today, we're asking for $40,000. We want to improve our reach by investing in marketing, improving our AI capabilities, expanding our team with talent acquisition. Today, we talked about Bone Scanner AI. We saw that with just 3 clicks, we can save thousands of businesses from shutting down permanently. The success we had in the short time we've been active shows awesome interest in our services, and we hope that we can expand our reach with your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to the judges.
You noted that so many small businesses get hacked because they're such easy targets and usually don't have a very good security posture. It's generally hard to convince them that cybersecurity is a priority.
True.
Because they think, oh, someone would only want to hack me if I was huge.
Exactly.
How do you think about your sales strategy with regards to small businesses, convincing them that this is a need. Yeah, walk me through that.
Yeah, so that's extremely true. And what we found that works is some people say you have to kind of scare them, make them think, what if it happens to you? Instead, what we do is actually tell them a story of what happened, but if it was your business, without scaring them. Because when you scare, you get paralyzed and you just don't know what to do, right? So that's what we do. And so that's one huge part of outreach. And another thing is that we got a lot of people coming in through the other free tool. They are very security conscious. So that's very easy to get them once they get there.
You sort of glossed over the competitive landscape.
Yes.
Would even be nice if you could go back to that slide.
Absolutely.
But can you talk a little bit more about what that looks like?
Absolutely. A few slides here. Yeah, so there are several competitors tailored to WordPress. So they only do WordPress. Obviously, there are big guys. They do a little bit of everything. Some of them don't even do WordPress. Expensive and complicated as well. So here, nobody uses AI yet for some reason. Maybe it's too costly for them to implement, and we're just starting now, so we implement it from the beginning. And they don't do complete monitoring, meaning they check WordPress, they check plugins, themes, and everything. Stops there. What we do is we go beyond. We check TLS connections. So like, what's your level of TLS? What's your encryption level? Is your HTTP channel open? That's a danger as well. What's your reputation as well? That's extremely important because let's say you get hacked, you don't know. They upload malware on your website, then maybe Google thinks you're malware, and then users go to your website, they see the big red screen. So that's another thing we do as well. Yeah, we focus on it has to be extremely easy to use. So the report generated by AI, how it talks is like a person talking to you, explaining like if you are 5, for example. And nobody else does that.
Also, why isn't WordPress doing this? And is there a risk that WordPress releases some feature that can do this for their customers?
You know what, that's a great question. They have never done this from the beginning. They don't even let you know when you have a vulnerability, not even that. In fact, the public, which I also did, you have to report vulnerabilities when you find to them, and they fix it with an update. But the problem is a lot of people, this is a real problem, make their websites, and that's it. They are gone. Or maybe they just use the e-commerce part. They don't take care of updating, which is one huge thing. So the fact that WordPress has been in business for like 15 years now and has never taken interest to this shows that they don't want to do anything about it.
Thanks.
Following up on that, I'd highly recommend you call WordPress and try to sell them your solution.
Oh, thank you. I'll do that for sure.
What is the plan? Can you go to your milestones? You had shown year
Absolutely.
1 revenue and where you hope to get over the next
yes.
2-3 years.
So we're thinking this year, we did the beta, completed middle of June. So we recently became active with the final product. And in 1 month, last month, we just got 20 users right away. We expect to get 10 paid customers by this year. And because next year we're going to have the whole year to work, we expect it to reach at least 30 customers, getting, let's say, 36,000, I think. And then doing just double every year because we expect to retain those customers and then just add 30 and so on. If does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Any other question? Good. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have our last pitch coming up. So I would like to invite EcoSafeSense up. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today. My goal today is for us to agree that each breath of clean air is a worthwhile investment. So we've been preoccupied the last few years with smog warnings and wondering about respiratory infections lingering from COVID, the effect that this might have combined on our children at school and on our parents who have those compounding effects playing against them when they're out on an especially hot day. We think that we might be checking the air quality index as often as we usually check the weather forecast in the very near future. With my PhD in environmental biology, I have the data to show that clean air in urban centers pays real dividends. But it also has a huge, huge cost when we don't pay attention to it. The costs are incurred on our healthcare, on our energy efficiency. So why don't we manage this better? The policies are existing, the carbon emissions targets are there. We don't have the data to demonstrate where these metrics are in cities, and data is costing us money and lives. We need the data to show where hotspots of pollution are, to predict how they impact people. And to get this data, we need an integrated solution that gives us air pollution metrics in real time across cities. I'd like to introduce EcoSafeSense. It's a hardware and a software integrated solution. This has more air quality metrics than any other equivalent sensor on the market. Everything that affects your health, from volatile organic compounds to ozone and CO2, particulate matter. We take this data in a small, compact package that has an integrated circuit topography protection similar to a patent. And we have our own algorithm that helps us predict what the air quality is and whether it's in the comfort range of people. And this algorithm will only get better the more data we can collect. And we also display this on a very user-friendly dashboard with a map and all of your recommendations in one place for instant analysis and decision-making, so you can actually do something with that data. We've got a lot of traction in our beachhead market, which is municipalities. We are in the Durham municipality, which is thousands of kilometers large, and they asked us to identify pollution hotspots. There's one weather station for these thousands of kilometers of municipality, which means that their extreme weather alerts and their pollution warnings are not as applicable to people as they could be, and the compliance is low. They want to understand where VOCs from pollution from factories are the highest intensity, so they can prioritize their urban planning around this. On the contrary, there is North Grenville, whose Mayor Peckford believes they are the healthiest municipality in Canada and has hired us, is paying us for 100 sensors to prove it. They have a mostly aging population. They have a forest and a dog park they're very proud of, and they want to show that their living conditions and longevity of the seniors who live there is the best in the country. We're also exploring adjacent markets. There's a lot of traction that could be had in verticals for air quality sensors, and we've achieved some of that here. We're working with researchers. Academics are notoriously picky about their data. It has to be accurate and precise, and so we're proud that they've paid us for our sensors, demonstrating the quality of our quality management systems. And we also have pilots in 2 automotive companies and in greenhouses. Our team is qualified across engineers and biologists, which means we don't just give you the raw data and let you run with it. We help you understand how this impacts policies, impacts action, and impacts our health. I've assembled a vast team that I'm very proud of in just the first year of operations, all rallying around this shared goal. Our market for global environmental monitoring is growing with a compound annual growth rate of 8% in the past 8 years. And we believe that for EcoSafeSense, this means a large portion that we can capture with the public sector and with other verticals in the future. With a large market, there's a lot of strong competition for other IoT sensor companies, but they don't have nearly the air quality metric range that we do, so they're missing a large portion of the air quality metrics that impact our health. And also, we've heard from customers that they are not as easy to understand. Their dashboards do not make as much sense, so there's not a lot they can do with the data. However, one of these companies has a large range of sensor deployment, which means that we need to expand our range if we want to get the best data available. And that brings me to my ask. My ask today is $30,000 to deploy, build our sensors, and analyze that data to improve our algorithm, to improve prediction for air quality sensors countrywide, and to help assess the health of citizens in communities across Canada and the world. And I ask that you join me on this journey to help us all breathe easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Judges, questions, please.
Thank you. That was really interesting. I'm fascinated that 86% of Canadians are living below the WHO recommended air quality level. That's quite scary.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, 80% of Canadians live in urban areas, and that number is only growing as we build up our cities. And also, there's a lot of more remote communities that you wouldn't think of having poor air quality, but they don't have, maybe one weather station for hundreds of kilometers, and so they don't have a way of measuring harm before it's too late. And usually, factories, power plants are out there as well.
So your primary market is municipalities or townships, so government level.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Is there potential for factories or, again, I don't understand the science of how the sensor works, but can it become a wearable where if you're super concerned about your air quality, that it could be on your wrist and you take it with you?
Yes, exactly. I have an 18-month runway that shows not the wearable technology, but a couple of other verticals. But yes, I could see. So to answer your first question, for factories, I think there's an opportunity in factories where time is money, and if a single process, for example, ExxonMobil gas, if a single device goes wrong, that costs them money to figure out where that fault is before they can back that sensor on. So if you sense a gas leak or some kind of VOC leak, to be able to identify where that's happening in real time is a lot more efficient. For wearables, I could see a couple opportunities. For example, for firefighters that are going into Jasper National Park right now, to be able to understand what they're being exposed to in real time, that can help our health a lot, kind of mitigate impacts before they happen. Thank you.
Sounds like you have a really good understanding of who your customers could be, and they sort of range across many different sectors. How do you just think about go-to-market in general to all of them? Which ones are you prioritizing? What are maybe some of the risks, and how will you address those risks?
Yeah, all of these customers have a very different offering that we offer. For example, municipalities, they want a service contract. Academics just want the data. They'll take care of they don't need a software as a service. Other markets, they want the software as a service, a subscription plan, which I initially thought we would go with until we started to validate with municipalities. So municipalities are the go-to-market strategy right now because they give us the opportunity to, like I mentioned, deploy like 100 sensors at once, collect a lot of data, iterate quickly in what we might be doing right or wrong, and I think get a lot of valuable impact from community members, public health. They're all sitting on the committees that I meet with for these municipalities. So that's the strategy there. I do hope, though, to have a software as a service later on so that we can sell the data that we collect. That's part of our end user license agreement now, that we can keep some kind of aggregated data right now that we're able to sell later on once we have a lot of it and algorithms that are more and more precise. So I see our offering changing with each vertical as we expand.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Is the business model the full vertical sensors data platform, and would you consider splitting out some of that? Are there any customers who don't care as much about the dashboards, but they want the sensors and the raw data? Has that been an experience at all?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, it has been. I wanted to have the hardware and software under our control for quality control, and also to be able to measure the interactions between all these air quality variables. Like I said, that is very unique. But cities seem to want both the dashboard and the sensors. Academics, just the hardware, they're interested. I could see consumers being interested in the hardware plus maybe a slightly different dashboard. They don't need a map of where the mobile sensors are traveling. They just need inside their homes. And just the data, that is the goal, maybe longer term, not within the next 18 months, but maybe 5 years or so, to actually have a large body of data that we can sell for further analysis for government bodies, for example, or what's it called, consulting companies.
It sounds like you're focusing on scope of data in the product, so increasing that to collect as much data as possible.
Yeah.
What are other competitors focusing on? What are they doing well? You mentioned dashboarding. They're not doing that well, but what is it that has allowed them to be successful in the market so far?
Yeah, I think they focus on particulate matter, which is something that we talk a lot about with wildfire smoke. There's the small pieces of dust in the air. With the construction happening on campus, particulate matter is huge. Okay. Yeah, but they're missing volatile organic compounds. I think what enabled them to expand so quickly is this IoT technology has become available in a lot of cities where cities are becoming connected. There's a Bluetooth network in some of the power poles around the city. And so they've capitalized on that very quickly to integrate it with the existing infrastructure as cities become smarter altogether. But they're missing a big chunk of this science background to actually understand, particulate matter to them just equals air quality, and they're missing a lot of there. Thank you so much.
Very much. Now, if you're innovative or entrepreneurial, you get used to pivoting on a dime, and that's what we're going to do. What we'd like to do is to invite Enoch Muwanguzi to pitch while the judges are still here. You're not awarding any of the current money. It's up to the rest of the audience and the people online to do an assessment, but if you have some questions that come to mind when he does it. So Enoch will give his pitch. He's going to be pitching about Yuga Brush. And then once that's done, what we will do is then Greg is going to take the judges away and they're going to deliberate. And then the rest of you, it's wisdom of the market time, okay? Now, also while I'm here, I'd also like to give a big shout out to our streaming audience, which is, I think, pretty international, correct? Excellent, global. Okay, and they've been really engaged, all sorts of really great comments online, so really glad that you're watching and really engaged, and very neat to have you linked to us here in Kingston. You'll have to stop by if you're ever passing through. Okay, without further ado, Enoch.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Enoch Muwanguzi from Uganda. Uganda was actually named the Pearl of Africa just because it is gifted by nature, and it is one of the best destinations you can ever go to. However, as a country, we have challenges. Around 71% of our roads are unpaved, and majority of us do walk to work every day, including even students who do walk long distances. Majority of us put on leather shoes. What does that mean? That polishing shoes in my country is not an option. It is something that you have to do on a daily basis. You can choose to do it by yourself or to take your shoes to a professional shoe shiner. I remember in 2018, when I took my shoes to a street shoe shiner, this gentleman challenged me when he told me that despite the fact that a brush had become a necessity in every household, there was no person that could make a quality brush similar to the horsehair brush that he was using. But as a young professional engineer, I didn't just look at this. I went ahead to do more research about the brush industry in my country, and guess what I found? Our market is flooded with a lot of imported synthetic Bristol brushes. And these brushes could barely last for 2 months when used by shoe shiners. And guess what? When these brushes are thrown away, they contribute to the millions of plastic brush waste that is disposed in the entire world. So I didn't need any more motivation. I took this challenge upon myself, and that's how Yuga Brush was birthed. Yuga Brush is a Ugandan-made brush that is made out of cowtail hair. And why cowtail hair? Cowtail hair is stiff enough to polish shoes, but it is gentle enough not to scratch your leather. Our brushes cost 50% compared to other horsehair brushes on the market, and they're durable, both to the individuals and to the shoe shiners. To people who love handmade products, Yuga Brush is just your option. We have tested it with different people, from households to the professional shoe shiners. And from 2020 to date, we have been able to produce and sell up to 100,000 shoe brushes on the market. We are employing 10 women who do the tufting of these brushes. And on the side effect, on each and every brush that we produce, averagely, we replace about 200 grams of brush plastic waste. In East Africa, the market is worth $123, but for us, we are just targeting about 5% of the entire Ugandan market. And the people that we looked at, the customers, these are the parents with school-going children and also the professionals who walk to work on a daily basis. Though we don't sell to these people directly, we go through the wholesalers that deal in shoe care accessories. We are not alone in the business. We have competitors. And what makes us different is we strike a balance between the quality of the brushes that we offer and the pricing of our brushes. For every large brush that we sell to a wholesaler, we sell it at $1.22 and we make a profit margin of about 29%. And for every small brush that we sell, we get a margin of about 37%. Every month, we need about 500 large brushes, all 864 small brushes for us to be able to break even. This was our plan that we developed in 2023, and I'm happy to report that year 2024 alone, we have been able to achieve this structure. This is what is going on right now. However, we still need more money to get a trimming machine. Which trimming machine will help us standardize the bristles of our brush that you see here, and this combined with the structure will help us get the certifications from the Bureau of Standards in our country. I am not alone. I have a team of dedicated people that I work with, and we are willing to change the brush industry in our country. So please join us as we revolutionize the brush industry in our country. You never know. When you come to Uganda, the first tool that you might need will be a brush, and Yuga Brush will be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Enoch. Judges, do you have any questions?
How did you discover that cowtail hair was as effective or more effective than horsehair and cheaper? What was your product development process like?
That's something very interesting. Being an engineer, normally when you get a product like this from another supplier, the first thing I did was reverse engineering. So I looked at the quality of the bristles, the horsehair bristles, and then I started looking at within our community. The question was, do we have horses? No. So is there anything that can act as horsehair? So we started testing different things, and what we landed on was the cowtail hair. And guess what? Cowtail hair in my country is considered waste. And that's how we came up with that.
The margins that you mentioned, is that for selling to direct to consumer, or is that part of the wholesale margin profile?
That is to the wholesalers. And the reason that's why we chose wholesalers, because it was quite expensive for us to acquire customers, and then a person buys a brush, that person will come back after 5 years, an individual. For shoe shiner, it takes like a year. So it became so easy for us to sell to the wholesalers in order to minimize the customer acquisition costs.
Thank you. It's a fascinating story. So that you handed out to the judges samples of your brushes, but I noticed that the gentlemen have one size of brush, and it could be coincidence, but the ladies on this end have a different size. Are they for different purposes, smaller shoes?
I don't know how Akila chose this, but the reason that's why we came up with that small brush, it came from a lady who wanted a portable shoe brush for her little daughter who was going to school. So in most cases, ladies prefer the smaller size and gents prefer the bigger size, because we gents don't want to waste a lot of time, just want to polish and then go. But for the ladies, they pay attention to the smallest detail.
I have a question, actually, if I might. Please. So if you succeed beyond your wildest dreams and you're really producing a lot of the brushes, do you have a sense of the supply of cow tail hairs? Like, would you worry at all that you would now have to, source, say, beyond Uganda, or have difficulty in actually finding the hairs for the brushes themselves?
That's a very interesting question. When you come to Uganda, of course, we know the more we scale and the more we start exporting our brushes to other countries like Kenya and Rwanda, we shall need more supply of cowtail hair. But Uganda alone cannot be able to supply all the required cowtail hair. Last year, I happened to go to Botswana, Botswana, they have more cows than even human beings. So they have a lot of cowtail hair, which is waste. So from different other countries around us, we can be able to source the cowtail hair, and we shall remain in business going forward. And also, we are not going to look at only the shoe brushes. We want to diversify and make other kinds of brushes. For example, there is a scrubbing brush that is made out of sisal, and sisal can be grown in our country. We want to do that before 2026. Even the toothbrush that you're using at your home, we are diversifying to that. We want to make bamboo toothbrushes. Instead of using these plastic brushes everywhere, we want to save our environment.
Super quick. You probably mentioned it, but how long do these last?
To an video, you can use that for up to 5 years. But for the professional shoe shiners, just a year. But the other synthetic brushes, not even 2 months. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the thing I was really intrigued about, is the fact that, when you think about it, all the plastic bristles on the brush, automatically then just contribute to plastics in the environment. So a very, very interesting solution. Anyway, Enoch, thank you very much for pitching. And we are now at time. So Greg is going to come and escort the judges. And I'm hoping that somebody can put up the wisdom of the market QR code. Okay, and then I have a few more words to say. And then after that, what we'll do is get into the sort of break reception while the judges are working hard.
We're being summoned.
Okay. Greg Babington, Executive Director of DDQIC, and Judge Shepherd.
Judge Wrangler.
Judge Wrangler, that's the word I was looking for. Judge Wrangler. And Neil's looking at me. I can't believe Jim's talking like this. Okay. So, first of all, we'd like to extend our gratitude and acknowledge, again, the support of the Faculty of Arts and Science and Smith Engineering for their generous contribution to our prize pool. But we would also like to thank the Ontario Centre for Innovation, OCI, for awarding the winning team free registration to their annual conference, which is DiscoveryX 2025. Okay, and so during the last pitch competition, so DiscoveryX I think is always held in Toronto. Is that that's correct? So we're pleased to say that in 2024, two of the teams associated with Kingston and one with DDQIC, Pendium, which last year won money in the pitch prize. They were previously known as Hippo AI. They won, and they went on and won one of the DiscoveryX pitch competitions. The other pitch competition was won by, in fact, somebody whose name you heard earlier this afternoon, Dr. Tramit Sheth, and who is also co-founding or partnering with Monarch Informatics. So I'd like to just briefly invite Cher Powers to come up and just briefly say a couple of words from OCI, and then I will carry on with some more comments.
Are we ready? Okay. Yeah, thanks, Jim. Just on behalf of OCI, Ontario Centre of Innovation, formerly OCE, so some of you here may still know us as OCE because we rebranded during the pandemic. Not a great time to rebrand. But on behalf of OCI, I would like to congratulate all of the companies who pitched today and really congratulate as well and acknowledge DDQIC for the excellent work that they do. As Jim said, that's evidenced in them, after they graduate from this program, going out and winning further competitions. So last year, we had 2 pitch competitions at DiscoveryX. Well, this year, I guess now. So April, we had 2 pitch competitions, both won by companies that are associated with Queen's. So we'd like to say that Kingston won the conference this year. And next year, we hope to maybe do the same. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Cher. All right, in-person audience, online audience, you ready to work? It's full? It's full, it's not letting any more votes? Oh. Bet you that's our online crowd. Well done, guys. Is there anything we can do about that, or are we... Okay, we're going to send a new form. So hang tight. Okay, we are going to, on the fly, as good entrepreneurs do, solve this challenge. Okay, but just as a bit of a look ahead, and I think what we should probably do also is extend the close time for wisdom of the market. It's right now at 4:45, but the judges are off deliberating. What's going to happen next is that we will then have a reception, okay? And so there will be some appetizers arriving shortly. And of course, there is the bar at the back there as well, okay? And then what we'll do is once the judges are done, they're going to come out, they're going to announce the prize winners, and then we'll continue on with the reception, okay? So I'm going to suggest any sort of rough ETA, do you think? 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Good. I'm going to ask for some shows of hands. Okay. So for people that are here, how many of you should put a hand up if this is your first final pitch competition, DDQ final pitch? Excellent. Appreciate you coming. And of course, some we're in the program as well. How many people here have done more than 2? Less than 5. Okay. Oh, and then Hugh's with his hand up. More than 5. Okay. And then I'm going to say, how many have actually done all, or sort of all -1 or all -2? I know there's a few people there, Jackie and Neil as well. Okay. One of the things I'd also like to do is actually give a shout out to Anil Delowry. So what happened with the pitches is that we had the qualifying pitches. And so then all the finalists had the benefit of Anil's excellent coaching, pitch coaching. And so he came down from that. You were here for 2 days working with the teams. And so it's been a very long-standing and very helpful relationship. Neil is very, very good at his craft, and we very much appreciate the commitment and dedication he's shown. He's been working with us, we figured, I guess, for pretty much all but the first year. So just maybe give a quick round of applause to Anil. My watch is telling me something. No, it's not. Okay. How many people here from out of town? Okay, there we go. So we've got a decent showing as well. In some places, yeah, okay. Versus the Kingston region. One of the things that you will have noticed also is that for the regional teams participating this year, are really from Eastern Ontario, which is great. Okay, so over the years it's tended to be sort of closer to Kingston, but Eastern Ontario really is its own ecosystem. And why should Southwestern Ontario with Waterloo and all the other places have all the fun? So really glad to see the participation from teams that are in the region, but in the whole part of Eastern Ontario as well. Is that the cut across the throat, Jim? Stop. No, we're waiting for the technical glitch, because the Wisdom of the Markets Award is perfect. Okay, you can thank Joanna Tinnis because she's asked me to set you free. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Okay, we will expand the capacity of this. I'll come in the mic. I'm going to invite you to get up, move around. I don't think the appetizers have arrived yet, have they? Or the appetizers are out in the hall. So now's your chance. Appetizers? No? Oh, they're going to bring them in. So you won't even have to walk that far. You're going to get fewer steps. Okay, so the appetizers are going to be here. So where are the appetizers going? Here? Wherever they are. Okay, you'll know where they are. You'll see them. Okay, I'm going to let you get up and walk around, wander. Okay, said bar at the back. Appetizers coming somewhere. Back in touch. Okay, oh, so they must recast. Okay. Okay, so the poll is now open. It has, see, here's a really critical thing. Anybody here or online that cast their vote already, please go back, scan this again, and do it again to make sure your vote gets counted. Good? And we'll leave the door open, the gate open, until 5 o'clock.
It's super easy.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
A, B, C. Sorry. That's twice I've sung this afternoon. Okay, here come the appetizers marching through the door. That's 3. Okay. Anyway, as you were, okay, get that wisdom on the market vote in before 5 o'clock. Okay, everybody vote, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, everybody. The judges are back. And I would like to invite my colleague and very good friend, Greg Babington, Executive Director of DDQIC, to take care of the announcements of the prizes.
It's been waiting for, some more than others. But the judges have very deliberately deliberated, and they're going to join me up on stage, and we're going to let the judges read out their decisions. As some of you know, maybe most of you know, we give really fairly tight but not absolutely restrictive instructions on how much money is available. We're often fortunate, as we were again this year, to get some sponsorship money at the last minute. And so we put that into the mix. So the judges have quite a lot of latitude in how many prizes we award and how big the prizes are. And that's why it sometimes takes a little bit longer to come to the decisions that they have to come to. I think they're going to read their decisions out in sort of from lowest prize to top prize. And Nikita, as it turns out, is going to award the prize that he won when he did QICSI way back when. Nikita. It was meant to be.
All right, the pleasure of fourth place. So drum roll, please. We have $5,000 going to EcoSafe. Woo!
Similarly, this is also the prize that I won, second place, and also tied for second place. We have VulnScan and Local Reach with 10,000 each.
And I am thrilled, though never having won one of these before, but I'm thrilled to present our first prize recipient of $20,000 to Monarch Informatics.
And I get to announce the Wisdom of the Market Award. So it's probably a good time to give my usual annual speech at this time. There's nothing at all wrong with winning a pitch prize and getting seemingly free money. That's all excellent. But it's nowhere near as good as winning real customers, which will give you a real business forever. So this prize is one that we came up with, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, where we thought, as brilliant as our judges are, wouldn't it be nice to know what everybody else who watched all of the pitches thinks about the products and their prospects and that kind of thing? So we have a $5,000 Wisdom of the Market Award, which you all deliberated on, and that's going to Yuga Brush and Enoch. Congratulations. So if we could maybe bring the teams up in that order to have some pictures taken and collect their trophy, custom 3D printed in our makerspace just down the hall.
So Monarch and Yuga Brush. Monarch, I don't know who you want to do first, but okay, guys.
Sure, let's bring Monarch up first. And then you can call your two up.
Okay. VulnScan, do you want to come up?
Thanks very much. Of course, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Great job, guys.
Yeah, and so I just want to step in and say that as the winning team also gets the Discovery X. So Cher, please join Monarch and the rest of the judges. Oh, can we just go back to Monarch for a sec? We need one more photo. Yeah, you guys get back up there, and VulnScanner will be right back with you. You're forming a nice line so we can take a picture of it. Okay, so this again is for the winning of the Discovery X, free admission. And to thank you again to OCI. Frozen in time. Good, thank you. Phone scanner, please come on up. So all the lab groups at Queen's that use WordPress, they should be in touch with Phone Scanner, because it's usually Wix or WordPress that.
Local reach. Come for the picture.
Great. EcoSafe Sense, I think. Yeah, EcoSafe Sense. This will be easier to fit on the stage. Olga, there she is. Perfect. We got all the teams. Is that all the teams? Yeah, Olga. Okay, and we have one more. We've got Wisdom of the Market. Enoch, come on up. Yes, with brushes. Perfect. Okay, always be selling. Good. Yeah, if we could get all the winners up, please. One more, last one. So yeah, everybody with your cups and everything else, everybody on the stage. And the judges could stay there too, probably. Yeah, the judges. Yeah. Enoch, back up. We're not quite done with you. Huh? Yeah. Congratulations, everybody. Yay. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay, thanks. Now, Greg, did you want to say any more words? I was going to say a few more words, but you should go first.
You know what I'm going to say, Jim. I say it every year. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you, everyone. It's a huge accomplishment to step up and get in this game at all, entrepreneurship and innovation. And this is the beginning of a journey for a lot of you, and there's going to be good days and bad days. And I'm sure for some of you, this is feeling like a very good day, and for others, it's maybe not feeling like quite as good a day. But don't over-rely on either of those feelings. It's just either a good day or a bad day. And as I say every year, as my absolute final comment before I pass it back to Jim, what do I say? If the judges shone on you today and gave you a prize, go out there and prove them right. And if they didn't, go out there and prove them wrong. Congratulations, everyone. Thanks. Jim, over to you.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, so first of all, to all of you that are here and everybody online, really appreciate you joining us for this final pitch competition. It obviously would not be the same pitching to an empty room, okay, or to faces that many of the people have seen all summer. It's like, oh my God, this is like doing a 3-2-1 pitch again. Okay, so having the audience, having the energy and the feedback, online as well as in person, really makes a huge difference. I'd like to just very quickly thank the various people, and hopefully I will touch on most of them, or if not all of them, just as I wrap up. First of all, thanks again to the City of Kingston for supporting the live streaming. Very much appreciate that, and they've been a wonderful partner over the years as we've been doing this. Thanks again to the Faculty of Arts and Science and to the Smith Engineering for contributing to the prize pool. and also helping with stipends through the summer as well. Very much want to acknowledge that. I'd like to, so DDQIC relies or works primarily on non-base funding support. So that's philanthropy, and it's grants from various levels of government as well. And so I very much want to acknowledge that important contribution. It's what makes this happen on a continuing basis. So we very much appreciate that. But hand in hand with that goes the tremendous amount of support, voluntary support that we get. Mentors, judges, fireside speakers, everything throughout the entire summer and throughout the entire year. Our global network, who also helped provide feedback in some of the practice pitches. And without that, we just couldn't do what we do at the scale that we do. And so that's very, very important as well. MasterCard Foundation for their support of Jim Leach MasterCard, again, critical. And also, a number of the people from various parts of the university, Jake Brower, Shay Dubé, other people from Smith Business and elsewhere, Hugh Cameron, who comes down every summer to come and speak, who also give freely of their time and their expertise and their experience to provide very effective and very helpful workshops, Morgan Leitonen, for example, and others. So we really, really appreciate all of that. I'm sure I'll miss some. I'd like to give a shout out to and thanks to Event Services for all their help with this event. Baldwin, AV, really appreciate all the very professional AV that you've provided today. The team, here's where I get emotional. Lovely team. Thank you. Okay, all this wonderful team. I've been a prof for 34 years here. So I've been around this place for a long time, and hands down, the team that I've enjoyed working with the most. And I've done all sorts of things. I've been head of Chem and Edge, and there's lots of people wonderful over there too, but hands down, this is the most accomplished and fun team I've ever worked with, I think, in my entire career. So thank you so much. And now it's reception time. Okay, unless you want me to sing, but I think I've sung 3 times today, so that's enough. Okay, thank you. Now, did I miss anybody? Nope, good. Thanks, Greg. Okay, have fun. Okay, bar's open. There's some food still. Reception's on. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations both to the winning teams. Congratulations to all the teams that worked so hard this summer.
6:15. The bar is
Okay, and I've been informed that the bar is open till 6:15, so be informed.